Hello folks, well I just thought I'd do a little bit of a review, because when I first got this, and you can see I've now got two. It's Coast, it's micro pliers, and I thought, it's only a little, no, it's £5 from a company called Springfield. So I'll put a link in the sidebar sort of thing. But it's got a little torch, and I thought, well, it might come in handy. The torch is only the old ordinary incandescent bulb. It's not an LED one, but it's still useful. And it's got it twists the end, you can focus it around a bit. And you might say, well, it's not as good as the LED one, which is true, but in a first aid situation, sometimes if you want to see if somebody's responsive visually, you don't obviously want to go near their eyes with the LED torches, because the LEDs emit a wavelength which is dangerous. So an ordinary bulb though, move it over, does the pupil close up, move it away, does it open up? So it has that, and also obviously it's handy just to have a little diddy wee torch that you can carry with you. And what I sometimes do, it's got a key ringy bit on the top there. See, I don't know if you can see that. And I've got one of the little carabiners, not the sort you use for climbing, but hook it on the belt, and then hook this on, and have it sort of slightly dangling half in and half out your pocket. So you've always got a little torch there, quite useful. Just something to. So I thought, well, it was £5, well, slightly under if you buy it off their website. I thought, well, say quite a neat little torch there. So not that bright, but better than nothing. And then you got the micro pliers, and I'll put that to one side there so you can pause the video and you could read what's on the list there. But you might say, well, they're a little bit small. But what I found in a sort of, if you're wandering out in the wilds, and I'll give you a little quick demonstration. As long as you've got a saw capability, which if you've got your Swiss if you've got your Swiss Army knife, your outrider or something similar, let's supposing you've got a bit of bramble. Now we have to play let's pretend here, because obviously this is not a bit of bramble, but a bit of bramble can usually be a prickly, and very often if you're wandering along, you're wandering through a trail. In Britain we have lots of footpaths, and they're quite narrow, some of them, and they get a bit overgrown, especially the ones that ain't used very much. And you've got this bit of bramble going right across the path, and you're like, oh no, can't get through there. Or it might be high up, it might be too high to sort of duck under, or but too low to actually, and too high to get you push it down with something. Or anyway, there are situations like you can get them round the stile. So what I do, if you got your little pliers with you, you hold the bramble with the pliers, and then you get your saw, which works a lot easier on bramble than a knife, and you saw through the bramble, and then you can pull it out of the way with the pliers, and that way you don't cut yourself, and as I say, it's very effective. So, and I have actually used these little pliers for that purpose. Now the other thing that's good about these little pliers, and again I've used it, is you've got a little pair of scissors on them. If I can find a little pair of scissors. There's a little pair of scissors, only little diddy wee ones, but in a first aid situation, what I've found is that very often you get your packet of, you know, your plasters, and you get a plaster and you're trying to get the packet open, and some of these packets can be a bit a bit awkward to try and get into without destroying the plaster that's inside, and then, you know, it ain't much good because it's, you put your hands all over it. So these little scissors have come in quite handy for that, so I've actually used them in that. And of course, because this is nice and small, it's nice and light, easy to carry, you don't mind carrying it around with you. And you've got a little sort of key ring type ring there, so if you did want to put it on there. And it's got various other bits and pieces on there. As I say, when I first got it I thought, oh, it was a bit cheap and cheerful, but it's quite handy. There's a little screwdriver bit, there's a lanyard hole there. I can't remember what quite that bit is there. It's a sort of rounded bit. I think it says on there what it is, but it's that. And then you've got a little tiny screwdriver on the end there, and your cap lifter thingy there, so that you can still get in your vital bottle of beer, whatever it happens to be. And then on the other side, you got your terrorist weapon. And some people think I joke, but see, that's quite a nice little blade there. And again, I have used that to cut a little bit of cordage and stuff like that. I've whipped it, and it's quite a reasonable little blade there. Better than not having one. You've got a file there, and you've got your bit for doing underneath your fingernails. I think that's a sort of wire strippery thing, that bit there. Obviously a flat blade screwdriver. So got quite a little handy little thing to have with you. It's better than not having anything. And you've got measuring sticks down the side there. It's quite useful. So because I'd rather have something like that than not have something like that at all. If you know what I mean. It's sort of, because I know people, like, they've got really big, and I'll say what it is. It's Coast. It's micro pliers, and you get your keychain flashlight, and that's aluminium, so it's quite lightweight, and that's stainless as far as I know. I think it is. And as I say, it's better to have something that you're gonna think, well, that's small, light, I can carry that. Whereas, but you got a big bit of kit, you don't want to carry it, do you? And it's like, I'll carry a first aid kit with me. Well, again, if you've got a first aid kit with you, I've seen people with big kits, but they don't take it with them, and you're like, well, what's the point in having it then? So I'd rather have a small kit that might not have everything in it, but at least I've got some stuff. It's better than not having any in it. So I'll probably do a little separate review on that, but I can find a space for that. So it's just, and at £5, well, even if you lost it, it's not too grim. So that's just a little overview of the old of these Coast micro pliers. So I'll put a link. Okay, cheers for now.